Empathy. So what is it? How does it work within a helping relationship? Well, the first thing we need to know about empathy is it is one of the facilitative conditions or core conditions that were recognized by Carl Rogers as being necessary and sufficient to create an environment that supports therapeutic change. Now, empathy differs from something very similar that you may know of called sympathy. Now, if you think about sympathy, if somebody's going through a hard time or going through a distressing period in life, we may feel sorry for them. And feeling sorry for somebody is being sympathetic. It's offering sympathy. Empathy is very different. We don't feel sorry for the person. What we do with empathy is we feel with the person. So being empathic within a helping relationship is trying as best we can to see the situation, to see the presentation, to see the challenges that the speaker is going through in the same way as they see it. It's almost like looking out of their eyes, seeing it from their frame of reference. Now, it could be argued that human beings are naturally empathic creatures. And I like to use the following to kind of describe that. If you go and watch a film, you may find yourself being emotionally moved. You're empathically connecting with what's happening within the story. If the hero within the story is winning, you might feel a sense of excitement and joy for that person. If they're going through hardships or sorrow, you might find that a tear rolls down your cheek. So you're empathically connected with what is happening in front of you. There is a felt sense within of what somebody else is going through. And we are, as human beings, naturally empathic. But empathy requires there to be a circle of completion for empathy to be effective within a helping relationship. So I'm going to go back to the scenario of watching a film. You could be sat there, you could be really empathically connected with the character within that film, but it is meaningless for the character in the film. They're not able to perceive that. They don't know that you are understanding what they're going through or feeling that, because there's no way of you kind of telling them or letting them know. So within the helping relationship, empathy is only effective if we are able to in some way reflect that back so that the speaker understands that they're really being heard. It's that moment where the speaker brings something and empathy is reflected back and the speaker goes, they get me, somebody hears me, somebody understands, I'm no longer alone. That is the power of empathy, of seeing it through their frame of reference, almost walking in their shoes as they bring their material and tell you their story. You may feel yourself being emotionally involved in what they are bringing. Now, there is one important aspect to empathy. At all stages, to keep ourselves safe, we need to realize this is not our material, it is their material that they are bringing in. While I was studying in my formal counselling training, the analogy was, yes, you are empathically going to walk in the shoes of the helpee or the speaker, but you always keep your socks on. That just gives you that barrier to recognize this is their material and I am not living their life, but you can feel it with them within that moment and empathically complete the circle to kind of reflect back that you hear them, that you understand them, that you really recognize what they're going through. As we progress, you're going to be learning counseling skills which will enable you to be able to reflect back empathically. So we'll get to that in a moment. But of course, empathy is not a counseling skill. It's not something you do. It is something you are. It's a way of being. So how do you develop your empathic way of being? Well, self-development is a great way. You know, exploring your self-concept and your frame of reference so that you can recognize that within a transaction and move it out of the way. We can't be in somebody else's frame of reference. We can't see it through their eyes if we're filtering it through our own frame of reference. Counselors study for years to get out of their own frame of reference, to be able to be there in someone else's frame of reference. It is tricky. You can practice empathy in your everyday life. Life comes at you, and try to look at it through somebody else's frame of reference. When you're next at the shops and the person is checking you out and they look miserable or they are going slowly, do you go to your frame of reference of how irritating that is for you? Or can you look at them empathically and think to yourself, wow, I wonder how that is for them. They are a result of the life that they are living. Try think about when people speak to you, do you automatically jump in with what your idea is or how you might do it or something from your past that you can share with them? Or can you stop yourself and kind of take what they're bringing, look at it, try and really feel what that might feel like for them, and then try using words to reflect back what your understanding is of how they are experiencing their world. Look at your day-to-day actions, journal about where you have empathic situations within your life, how you dealt with that, what came up for you, what you were able to feel, what you were able to feel back, and practice your empathy.